Welcome to the studios and laboratories of Joe is Hungry here in the dog-infested city of Fairmount, Georgia. Today we're going to try out the new Subway Beef Brisket Sub. It's supposed to be naturally made with pit-smoked barbecued brisket. This one has been kind of a nightmare to work on. Subway here in Fairmount didn't get it. It's release day. I went down there. They didn't have it. They couldn't get it in the computer. Hey, Mr. Singleton, we're here. Fairmount exists. So I had to run all the way to Calhoun, Georgia to pick up one of these because that franchise managed to get their new release out on the day that it was supposed to be. I find it a little bit aggravating because the Subway is like right down the street from my office. Anyway, let's get started on the video. For $10.79, you get a smoked brisket Subway sandwich. I had a coupon to get a free drink and chips. This is what I got. Diet Coke. Hey, Subway. Good on the Diet Coke. And some Doritos, but of course you can get any kind of chips you want. I'm going to show you the sandwich. I want to compare it to the photograph you get in the flyer. This is what we were expecting to get. I don't know if you can tell a difference or not, but I see one, and this is what we got. It's kind of flat, doesn't seem to have a lot of meat in it, but just so you know. But I think deceptive advertising in fast food places is quite commonplace. I see these appetizing advertisements, and then when I get there, it's not exactly the same. I really didn't have my hopes up for getting something really spectacular. Pit smoked beef brisket is something that's usually good when you cook it at the restaurant. I don't see a little smokehouse or a smoker sitting out back behind Subway, so we can pretty much assume that this stuff is frozen. Now when they cook it, they don't actually cook the meat in the bread. They take the meat out of a package and put it on a special platter and put it in their flash cooker and cook it, and then put it in the bread, and that's what you get. So before we go any further, let's take a real close look at this sandwich before I subject it to the Joe bite test. It comes in its normal paper wrap, and then it has another wrapping on the inside. We find 2 slices on each side, beef brisket with their barbecue sauce. Now, with it open, I can smell the barbecue sauce, and it smells pretty good. The brisket actually doesn't look too bad, although I think the meat is a little sparse. Over on this side, you can kind of see that the cheddar cheese, it's on this side of the meat. There. Now, we've got that covered. Before we start, we must clear the palate with Diet Coke. And you can see their new cups. I said this about in the video before. I like the yellow tops on them. They seem more yellowy. And they seem to stay on better, as was tested on the way here. My car doesn't have a cup holder. This thing fell over hard on the floor 3 different times and never spilled. So, Subway, you did something right with the cup. Let's get on with the Joe bite test. We're going in, boys. Well, I can taste the barbecue sauce. It is a sweet barbecue sauce with a small amount of tanginess to it. The bread is chewy. The meat, I feel like maybe they're a tad stingy on the meat for this, for $10 and a half. Seems a little bit steep for this. The meat is obviously sliced on a slicer, not the brisket I'm familiar with. This more like the beef brisket you would see, say, at Arbys. The brisket is slightly chewy, it's tender, I can bite through it. After looking at their advertisement, I thought it would be probably about twice as much. And if I were you, I would probably put some toppings on this to to fill out the sandwich and bulk it up a little bit. As far as a value for this, I would give it about a 6 or a 7 for a value. As far as taste, I actually like the taste. I like the brisket, but like I say, it looks almost exactly like the brisket that I got from Arbys Meat Mountain. I would say the taste would be a good 8 out of 10, although lacking on the meat a little bit in the volume department. The cheddar cheese, I can detect that, and that really mixes well with the barbecue sauce, the bread, and the meat. So I'm saying the cheddar cheese really does help make this sandwich. So you Subway aficionados out there, I would say go for it. But as usual, be prepared when you get the sandwich. It's not going to be as big and thick and bulky as it looks like in the little flyer you got in the mail, just like me. I do still like the brisket. It has a little fat on the ends like there. I like that. That kind of adds flavor and greasiness to it that I look for in a sandwich like this. So, if you find this video interesting or helpful, this product just came out today, subscribe. It supports the channel. And we will see you in the next video.
Hold me down before I scream. More than anything I could dream. You come and take.
We're in Fairmount. Hey, we're down here in Fairmount. We're here too.
I won't stay, I say.
Unfortunately for me, Joe is still hungry. So that, you get a point off just for that.
I'm hooked on you.
Doritos.
You're just the type for the part in my heart. I feel it deep in my gut. It's the thing I should be after. Just